So now we go into the initial supplier evaluation. So, who, when, how, so who, FDA 1345, you need to evaluate everyone, no matter who they are, what they're providing, you need to evaluate them. My perspective is, you're going to want to audit those high risk suppliers. Everyone else, you can do some type of supplier assessment, understand what their quality management system is. Do they have ISO certifications in their field? Did you review their credentials? So if you're hiring a consultant for design work, do they have the proper proper credentials for design work? So you can do comparisons like that to be able to understand, what you need there. Initial. Go ahead.
When you're picking that supplier and you're having that initial evaluation, what does that typical time frame look like, and how many different data points or items are you looking at before you make that decision to move forward?
Yeah, and you really have to get in with your advanced sourcing team or your new product development team and understand who they're selecting and work with them early. The earlier the better. We all the time we have teams that come, hey, next month we want to start using a supplier. Too late. You should have done this 6 months ago, because it takes time to get in there. Takes time to get to the supplier, especially in these times. It's going to be tough to get in the door. So you want to plan ahead. You want to get that selection piece done very early in your process. Really when you're starting to, finalize prints and you're starting to, look for suppliers, that's when you want to bring in your supplier quality team. You want to get that done early, because, the supplier quality team might go in there and say, this guy's a mess. You don't want to use them, and you're going to have to go find someone else. So getting in there early, understanding the supplier's capabilities is critical to success. So when you do that early, very early, and how are we going to do that? There's many different ways. Quality system self-assessment. So based off of risk, if it's a lower risk supplier or lower risk component for your device, a self-assessment might be appropriate. Reviewing credentials, leveraging third-party standard certifications, things like 17025 for, calibration, things like that. Perfect use of that. On-site audits, you can either do a quality management system audit if you've never been there, or dig right down to the process audit on what they're doing. And then, potentially remote audits. Sometimes that's your only option. Whether you don't have local staff, whether you don't have the budget to get your team to that supplier, if it's across the globe, or you frankly can't travel due to the COVID restrictions or things like that. So there's options there to get that assessment done.